Hi, this is Joel from Dealers Depot Antique Mall with another episode of Tempe Antique Talks. Today we're going to be talking about cocktail shakers and Art Deco, especially as my era that I like to collect in them, and that's kind of when a lot of the drinking cocktail shakers and stuff came into real fashion after temperance and the 18th Amendment was passed and they outlawed alcohol for consumption. They started getting kind of creative with cocktail shakers, and the design also reflects the time and what was going on with skyscrapers and industrialism. So let's talk about some of those. So here we have an assortment of cocktail shakers. Some are designed by different designers, and some I don't know who they're from. And also cocktail books. These are really nice collectible books to look up to have for your collection. It kind of completes your cocktail collection if you're starting to collect. There's different ones. This is I believe it's Heisey. There is no markings on it, but you can tell the quality of it by how blue the cobalt is, but how thin it is. So normally cobalt glass, to be real blue, is thick. This is very thin, so this is a very high quality cobalt. And it's got a really neat Art Deco design. I bought this probably 20 years ago. It's got a Russian-esque kind of design. They did some of these in Europe. That's a really nice cocktail shaker. One of my favorites. And then this is a depression glass. This is green glass, depression. These are probably something you'll find more likely in your hunts. Be a little easier to find, but you know, chrome top. And what makes a cocktail shaker is it's got three pieces normally. It'll have the body, the top, and a strainer. If you count the cap, I count it as three. We could argue about that, but you know. And then there's figural cocktail shakers. This one's a really neat old one. I believe it's German. It acts as a cocktail shaker, but what's cool about it is it has stackable cups inside. So you can mix the drink, and you got these cups. I picked this up in my travels with my wife. We collect all these little guys. That one's really neat with the enamel. This one's really cool. This one says Scotch. It's got a bottle in it with a flask. And then what's really cool is it's got a lighter down here. I've got tape so it doesn't fall off. Let me pull that off of there. This one's a triple threat because it's got a little tiny lighter in there. Kind of goes with our last segment on fixing Zippos. But that's really a cool one. So it's got a really nice Art Deco Scotch with flowers. That's pretty cool. This one, designed by Norman Belgatti's in the 30s. This is a Manhattan made by the Revere Company in Rome, New York. This is a really nice, expensive shaker. Lid, strainer. These also have a tray and cups. If you can find those, they're $25,000. Complete set with like 6 to 8 cups. Here's a really nice cocktail shaker, figural, and they call this a knockoff spout, and that turns like that. It's got a cork stopper. You can see that it's got the strainer. And a lot of these were made to be like coffee pots in the 20s. So when we went into Prohibition, they were trying to hide the fact that they were still drinking, but everybody was. And so they started making them look like teapots and coffee pots, just in case, you know, the neighbors came by or whatever that didn't drink. And this is designed by William I forget his name, Archibald, I believe. And this is another Revere shaker. It's got Bakelite stopper. And you can see down in there, there's a strainer down inside. And this is another expensive one. This is also made by Revere, And they're one of my favorite companies for the Art Deco style. And then the last one we have here is Kensington, made by the Kensington Aluminum Company. And then this one's my wife's favorite company, Kensington. She loves this company. This one's a three-piece, and it's supposed to look like a skyscraper, or, you know, figuratively. So it has the top, and this one has a cork stopper, and then it has the strainer that's removable. It's important as a collector to have all these pieces, because a lot of times the cork is missing that. So there you go. There's a quick rundown on it. I'll show you about the books next. Okay, the cocktail books I really like because it also shows the time. That also has the Art Deco stylings. You know, they're really neat. This is a Savoy cocktail book. Now, they remade this book, and the remakes are pretty expensive. But this book is an original, and they are very hard to get. I don't know what they are going now, but they're probably around $1,500 in this shape. And it has all the cocktail recipes in there. Preface, different cocktails, different drawings, really neat Art Deco drawings. Just really neat artwork. There's a biplane. That one's really cool. If you can find this book, snap it up. Even in a reprint, it's cool to have in your collection. This is the bottoms up. This is probably from the 20s. And what's neat about this one is it is all the recipes of the silent film stars of the time. This was before talkies. So there, a lot of them did end up going into other, films, but a lot of these people, they would talk about their favorite cocktails, and there'd be a little snippet. This is also another expensive book. You can find that one, pick it up. Famous cocktails, this is the Waldorf. A lot of these hotels, like the Savoy and the Waldorf, put out cocktail books because during the 20s, people would go party there, and they talk about different wines and the proper glasses and the etiquette of drinking, cordials, champagnes, whiskeys, and beers. These are neat just as a collector. Mr. Boston, you can get anywhere. This one I don't think is old, maybe a 60s, but it's got somebody's recipes in there. Yeah. So something like this is kind of neat to pick up. You can mix drinks with it, and you don't care if you spill something on it. These you'd be a little sad. Here's a toasting book. Probably from the 20s, maybe even earlier. I paid $10 for it. 1907. And then they have different toasts here. It's just kind of when you collect the cocktail shakers and stuff and barware, you start to go into this stuff as well. And then the last one's a cocktail companion. I just like this because of the drawings, and it's got snacks and stuff for the occasions of your cocktail party. Cheesy Puffs. Cartman would like that one. But anyhow, so those are the books, and then I'll just show you some collector books next. So this segment here where I'm going to show you about collector books. I know everybody thinks you can find everything on the internet. Everything's there. It's not, trust me. You never have anybody have a picture of something you want to look. If you study the books, you get to look at it. It's easier to identify this stuff when you're out picking. So this one here is one of my favorites. This, I don't know if it's in print anymore. Stephen Biscay, he's a really good guy. He's like one of the premier collectors of these cocktail shakers. Well, and there's the one on the cover, is that one there. And what I like about them is these values are all no good no more, because, you know, this was a 90s book. But all the different shakers in here, from glass to, I just picked this one up in cobalt, and they said it was a vase because it didn't have the top. Well, if you look at it online, you can't find it. So in this book, I knew from this book that it was a cocktail shaker, not a vase. So I picked it up for quite a bit less. Now all I gotta do is find a lid for it. Might be a bit of a challenge, but hey, you know, it's a very expensive shaker. Some more Art Deco style ones, Germany ones, bar picks, Zephyrs. There's so many different kinds of shakers that you're not going to know on the internet if you don't have one of these books what you're looking at. You know, Russell Wright with aluminum like that. Someone would think that was like a juice pitcher, but no, you know, that's back then it's you know, $4,800 to $5,500, and it's a lot more now. I've seen them sell for. So this book is a really good one. If you can find it, pick it up. This one's by Simon Kardashian. He's another collector, and it has less of the values, and it's just got more kind of art. This is an Asprey from London. Those are all English shakers and pretty neat ones. But you can see how you could get excited about collecting shakers because of the beauty of them. And then you'll want to get the cocktail picks. And it's very easy to, get addicted into this field just because it reflects a time of, the roaring 20s. And so, they've got different Frigo ones, golf bags and lighthouses. It's endless, really. This is a real beautiful one. And that one I've seen sell in the $25,000 range with the cup. So it's a hard one. But anyhow, if you can get these books, at least these two, there are some other Art Deco books that you can get that have cocktail shakers in them. And depression glass books have the glass cocktail shakers in them. It's good to kind of gather all that stuff if you're going to start collecting these. And then you can use the internet to figure out what the current values are. But sometimes you put these up, you don't know. So hope you enjoyed this segment, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.